Hello and welcome. I'm WOTLK and this is my channel. Today I wanted to talk about hunter pets and Wrath of the Lich King, as I've been receiving a lot of questions about hunter pets as of late. In this video we will cover the types of pets and their families, when you receive talent points, the pet talent trees based on the content you're doing, along with some other useful information along the way. But before we get into the video, I just want to go ahead and say, if you've been enjoying my content, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a ton, and it's completely free. Alright, let's talk about hunter pets. To start off, I want to go ahead and cover when you receive your first talent points and when you receive them thereafter. Starting at pet level 20, you're going to receive your first talent point. And from there on, you're going to receive a pet talent point every 4 levels until you receive 16 points in total. Unless you're Beast Mastery, then you're going to receive an additional 4 points along that way. Alright, on this video, we're going to cover a lot of different information, and I'm going to be referencing a lot of different websites. So I just want to go ahead and list the websites where I'm getting the information from ahead of time, so I don't have to cover it when we go ahead and bring up the websites. The first of which is going to be Wowhead. We also are going to grab information from Icy Veins, a site called Petopia, and a little information from a site called Warcraft Tavern. Alright, now let's talk about the pet trees. First off, we're going to talk about Ferocity pets. These pets are strictly damage dealers, with the talent trees focusing on enhancing both the pet and player damage. These pets are the top choices of every hunter for endgame content like heroic dungeons and raids. And if you're looking for a Ferocity pet, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be choosing a wolf. But you could also go with the pets listed here on the screen, which we have Devilsaur, Corehound, Wasp, Cat, Moth, Carrion Bird, Hyena, Raptor, and Tall Strider. You can also see on the screen where it goes ahead and lists their pet diets, because each and every pet will eat a different type of food. So you can reference this video and we'll cover each pet and what they eat here, because we're going to have it up on the screen here. But if you forget what your pet eats, you can use the ability called Beast Lore in-game to figure out what your pet type eats. Now, if you pick a Ferocity pet and you're a survival or a marksmanship hunter, this is the best pet tree that you can go with. You're going to put the 2 points into Cobra Reflexes, 1 into Dash, to get that speed ability, that movement ability to get your pet to the target faster. You're going to put 1 point into Bloodthirsty, 3 points into Spiked Collar, 3 points into Culling the Herd, 3 points into Spider's Bite, 1 point into Call of the Wild for an on cooldown ability, 1 point into Wild Hunt, and 1 point into Rabid for another on cooldown ability. If you go with this talent tree here, you're gonna have this on cooldown ability called Call of the Wild. When used, it'll increase you and your pet's melee and ranged attack power by 10% and lasts for 20 seconds with a 5-minute cooldown. You'll also gain this ability called Rabid, which it has a 45-second cooldown and lasts 20 seconds. And when it's used, your pet goes into a killing frenzy. Successful attacks have a chance to increase attack power by 5%, increasing up to 5 stacks, which means you can have up to 25% increased attack power for 20 seconds. It's important to note that how Rabid works is if you have it automatically casting, it's not going to automatically cast if your pet doesn't have aggro on the target. So if you want Rabid to be casting, there's 2 ways you can do this, and both is through the use of macros. The first macro here up on screen is essentially a macro that you can make with all your damage dealing spells if you want to have it automatically casting when it's up. This is a steady shot macro, but you can use this on any of your damage dealing abilities, as well as like Serpent Sting, Explosive Shot, Volley, Black Arrow. Any of those abilities, it can be macroed into, and then it's essentially going to be casted anytime it's up. Additionally, you could go with this macro that's up on screen now, which would allow you to put it on an action bar without having to replace any of your pet abilities on your pet action bar. And then you could track the cooldown, you can track the uptime, and you could just hit the spell yourself manually if you wanted to cast. Now on screen is another pet talent tree for Ferocity pets that you could go with if you're Beast Mastery. Because if you're Beast Mastery, like I said earlier, you'll have an additional 4 points to spend. So this is the best use of those 4 points for Ferocity pets if you're looking to get the most out of your damage dealing pet. You're not going to gain any additional cooldown abilities, but you will gain some useful passive abilities. Now, each one of the Ferocity pets has their own unique ability, and on screen you can see a list of each one of the pets and their special abilities in the Ferocity tree. The only one that we're going to talk about here in this video is going to be the wolf, because really that's the only Ferocity pet you're going to be taking if you're trying to take the best Ferocity pet you can. Which, if you have a wolf, you'll gain the ability called Furious Howl. What Furious Howl does is it increases your melee and ranged attack power for you and the wolf by 320 for 20 seconds on a 40-second cooldown. This pet ability can be macroed in just like Rabid if you want to have it automatically cast on your own spell use. It can also just be toggled as an auto cast ability and your pet will use it. It'll be faster if you macro it into your own spells, as your pet doesn't use these abilities as soon as they're off cooldown, but it'll be used as soon as it is off cooldown if you have it macroed in. And this is the most powerful spell out of any of the Ferocity pets available. Now let's say you're leveling your hunter in any specialization and your pet is struggling to get and hold aggro for you, and it's not staying alive long enough to suit your needs. You may be looking for a Tenacity pet. The pets in this family can be considered your tank pets and are great for solo content, as their talent tree focuses on improving health, buffing allies, and taunting enemies. The two best options to choose from for Tenacity pets are Bear and Crocolisk, but you have other options to choose from like Worm, Crab, Gorilla, Warp Stalker, Turtle, Boar, and Scorpid. Since Tenacity isn't really a min-maxing pick for any hunter, I'm not going to show multiple talent trees for Tenacity pets, but on screen is an example of a Tenacity talent tree that you could go with as a solid choice. By taking these points, you're going to gain two on cooldown abilities. The first being Roar of Sacrifice, which has a 1 minute cooldown and when casted protects a friendly target from critical strikes completely. And during the 12 seconds that it lasts, your pet will take 20% of all damage taken by the target that you had casted this on. The other ability that you'll gain is called Last Stand, which has a 6 minute cooldown, where your pet temporarily gains 30% of its maximum health for 20 seconds, after which the effect expires, the health will be lost. So your pet can die if it's low enough health after this effect wears off. These spells can also be macroed, like we showed Rabid could be macroed, so that you don't have to replace any spells on your pet spell bar, and you can go ahead and click them more easily. Here is the list of Tenacity family abilities. So if you don't want to go with a Bear or a Crocolisk, you could use this as a way to figure out what other special abilities these other pets have to base your choice off of. The next pet tree is called Cunning, which can be considered as a middle-of-the-line pet. They don't excel at any one thing, and the talent tree focuses on utility and mobility over any damage dealing. If you're looking for a Cunning pet, you can choose from Ravager, Silithid, Chimera, Bird of Prey, Spider, Nether Ray, Spore Bat, Serpent, Bat, wind serpent, and dragon hawk. You're going to have to make your own choice when it comes to cunning pets, as each one has their own and special ability, which kind of depends on the situation that you're in, which pick you'll want to go with. The same kind of goes for talent trees, so I'm not going to show a specific talent tree build for this pet, since you're kind of gonna craft your own talent tree based on which pet you pick for their special ability. But it's important to note that you're going to want to not spend too many points early in the pet tree up top here, and you'll want to work your way down to at least pick up some of these on cooldown effects. Like for instance, Wolverine Bite here is a 10-second cooldown, which is a fierce attack causing 5 damage, modified by pet level, that your pet can use after it makes a critical attack. Cannot be dodged, blocked, or parried. You can also pick up Roar of Recovery, which has a 3-minute cooldown, which your pet's inspiring roar restores 30% of your total mana over 9 seconds. You could choose from Bullheaded, which has a 3-minute cooldown and removes all movement impairing effects and all effects which cause loss of control of your pet, and reduces damage done to your pet by 20% for 12 seconds. And then there's also Roar of Sacrifice, which has a 1-minute cooldown and protects a friendly target from critical strikes, making attacks against the target unable to critical strike. But 20% of all damage taken by the target is also taken by the pet, lasts 12 seconds. Same ability as the Tenacity tree gets right here. It's also important to note that you're going to want to keep your pet fed in order to keep your pet happiness high, as if you keep it happy in the green, then your pet will do 125% damage. But if he's unhappy, for example, he's going to deal only 75% of his possible damage. Also, just like you can benefit from food buffs, your pet can also benefit from food buffs. If you're raiding or doing heroic dungeons, it might be beneficial for you to be rocking some Spice Mammoth treats in your inventory to feed your pet, which when your pet eats it, it'll increase the strength and stamina of your pet by 30 and last for an hour. If you or your pet dies, you'll have to go ahead and use more of this to get that buff back on your pet. You're also most likely going to want to get this recipe yourself and farm out this food for yourself. So if you haven't leveled cooking yet, I highly suggest it, because on my server a 20 stack of Spice Mammoth treats is currently going for a 600 plus gold. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to support the channel, please like, subscribe, leave a comment what you thought about the video in the comment section below. And if you want to be notified when I go ahead and post another video, make sure you hit that notification button. If you'd like to see me live on Twitch, the link to my Twitch is in every one of my videos' description. Other than that, thanks again for stopping by. Peace.